Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I would have done Total Drama All-Stars. So you guys know I'm kind of a big fan of the show, and the fifth season All-Stars didn't really like it. So I'm going to, basically just show you how I would have done it. So basically, the season starts off with Chris introducing our campers and teams. So first up, we have the villainous vultures. Heather, Duncan, Courtney, Joe, Lightning, Scott, Noah, and Maria, and Alejandro. And then we have the heroic hamsters. Mike, Lashana, Owen, Brick, Lindsay, Zoe, Cameron, Sierra, and Gwen. I kept the names the same, and a lot of the contestants the same, just to keep it easy. So for the villains, I added Noah to the show from the old cast, and then I also added Anne Maria. And then on the heroes team, I added Lashana, Owen, and Brick. And I did remove Sam, as I didn't really like him in the show. I didn't feel like he deserved there. So yeah, that's how episode 1 would start off. Still Not Happy Campers Part 1. Just to introduce our campers, have some banter, yada yada yada. Moving on to episode 2, Still Not Happy Campers Part 2. So the challenge for this episode is to jump off a cliff, and then to grab a key from the bottom of the lake. Then one member of your team will bring you to the cabins in a stroller. Once you get there, you try the key in the mansion. If you get the right key, your team wins immunity. If not, then your teammate brings you back to the beach and the next person jumps. So, basically, it's very similar to the challenge from the original season. The villains pick Lightning to do the challenge, to push, and then the heroes pick Brick. Lightning because he's like a big jock guy, and he probably seems super excited to do it. He also did it in the original season. And then Brick because, again, he's an army person. They figure, he's super fit, he can push, and he does. And I think that it goes really well. The villains spend a lot of their time, just trying to make alliances, where the heroes are just working to try to win. And I think that the heroes would come out on top and win immunity. At the campfire ceremony, I think people would vote, and I think Lightning would maybe just be too busy but showing off his muscles and annoy everyone. And I think he gets voted off, just like that. Sorry, Lightning, that's just where you belong. Moving on to episode 3, Leech Ball and Swim. For this challenge, each team picks 5 players, and they all have to shoot targets. Once all 10 targets are hit, 2 players have to swim a giant log around the island. First team to finish the challenge wins immunity and the mansion. So the villains shooters are Duncan, Courtney, Heather, Scott, and Anne Maria, with their swimmers being Alejandro and Joe, with Noah sitting out. The heroes shooters are Gwen, Sierra, Owen, Lashana, and Zoe. So they picked, I don't know why they didn't pick Brick, but whatever. And then the swimmers are, and then the swimmers are Mike and Zoe. Did I misread something? I might have misread something. Sorry, I'm reading off my notes. Oh, Brick is a shooter. That makes more sense. Mike and Zoe are the swimmers, with Lindsay and Cameron sitting out. Sorry about that. They do well, and the heroes win, in a landslide. Alejandro probably freaked out because he got a leech on him. Name of the episode, and that's it. So teams are voting. Anne Maria was probably really annoying. Alejandro, of course, cost a challenge, so I think it's between these two. I think that they would recognize Alejandro as a strong player and good for their team, so they vote off Anne Maria. Moving to episode 4, Saving Private Mike. This challenge is simple. Every team member has a paintball gun except for one. Each team picks one member to be captured. The rest of the team has to save their captured team member and bring them back to their own home base. The catch is that if you're hit with a paintball from the other team, you're out. The winner is the team that captures their member first, or is the only team with players standing. So the heroes captured player is Mike, and then the villains have Alejandro. Something I did forget to mention, however, is during the challenge, during the last episode, Mike is hit with a little boulder on the head, He turns into Mal for a second. There's a little tease. I wanted to keep all the canon the same, and since you saw a little picture of Mal in Revenge of the Island, I figured that we just kind of had to have it here. But you'll see that I didn't make him a main villain or anything or oversaturate him. Anyways, heroes are doing well, but when they go to free Mike, the villains pop out of nowhere and shoot them down. It's then revealed after that Mike actually turned into Mal and told them about the strategy, basically making him kind of evil, and you think, he's going to be the main villain, but you'll see that he's actually not later on in the series. The heroes vote, and, they don't know why their plan went wrong, but, let's say Sierra's super annoying, obsessing over Cody, and she gets a boot. Next up, episode 5, The Amazing World of Mike's Head. Manitoa Smith is digging around, for something, whatever, probably under Mal's orders, who knows. Then Chris says that today's challenge is a treasure hunt. Each team digs on their half of the beach and finds pieces to build a statue. First team to find all the pieces to build their statue with invincibility. The villains are actually going to lose because they're going to spend the whole thing, fighting over, Joe and Heather are going to fight over who should be leader, and basically cost their team the challenge. Anyways, and so they lose. At the campfire ceremony, Chris tells them to actually vote out 2 players. They pick Noah and Scott, who are actually transferred over the hamsters. And then they pick 1 member to join their team, and they pick Gwen. So you can see I'm basically building a landslide for the hamsters. I thought that'd be funnier. Episode 6, Aftermath, just all our eliminated contestants getting interviewed by Jeff and Bridget. Not much to it, I just have this 26 episode format, and I figured that, hey, let's throw some Aftermath in there. Episode 7, Boyfriend Stealer. So, on the girls' side of the Vultures, Courtney and Gwen are arguing over who gets Duncan. Joe and Heather are arguing over team leader. And Alejandro and Duncan on the boys' side, are probably just chilling, doing whatever, Anyways, so this challenge, and how to win the next challenge, especially because, look at the team difference, right? Anyways, the challenge is a triathlon type game, so this challenge only 6 people on each team will compete. The Vultures have all their members compete. However, the hamsters have Noah, Cameron, and Lindsay sit out. Scott does go in there. So that begins. They all compete. First challenge is the blindfolded toboggan race. The Vultures have Alejandro and Heather compete, while the hamsters have Mike and Zoe compete. Alejandro and Heather argue Mike and Zoe make a great team, and they win first part, putting the hamsters in the lead. Moving on to the next challenge, it's the speeding challenge, so they're handcuffed together and they have to eat. Joe and Duncan play for the Vultures, and then Shauna and Scott play for the hamsters, sorry. Obviously, I didn't want to put Owen there because I didn't want it to be like, oh, Owen wins immediately, whatever. So I picked these 2. If you haven't seen the series, it probably doesn't make super much sense, so if you go watch, series, I don't know. I was just thinking about that, but yeah. Anyways, they all compete, and, Scott is telling Shauna how to do faster, as he would, probably, but Joe and Duncan make a good team and tie it up. Moving on to the final challenge. It's a crazy obstacle course, right? Gwen and Owen will start off the race running across. It's the same obstacle course from TDR. And then, sorry about that. And then, Owen and then Brooke and Courtney will keep up. Gwen gets her team a lead, but Courtney stalls because she wants to get Gwen voted out. And Owen is able to finish, winning the hamsters the win once again, giving them a nice big lead. And then at the campfire ceremony, people are basically debating between Alejandro, because again, he's super strong, right? Courtney, they figured that the merge, or at least a big change, team change will happen, obviously, because, look at that. And so they vote off Alejandro, knowing that he'd be a very powerful player in the merge. Moving on to the next episode, episode 8, Mike's Kitchen. Cameron and Zoe have noticed that Mike is off, as they probably would at this point, but, they don't want to alert Mike to it in case something is actually wrong, and it's bad for their team. Anyways, This challenge is the cooking challenge, and from TDI. So they argue. So Heather and Joe are arguing over head chef. Heather eventually wins. We'll say. Mike takes the lead for his team, and they come out with some really nice dishes. These guys barely come out with anything, but Mike turns into Mal and actually ruins his team's dish. They are able to notice this, though, however, but it's too late. They get sent to the campfire ceremony, and they vote off Mike. He screwed up, right? He ruined the dishes, so yeah. Episode 9, The Schemer. Noah's unconventional, and he shows that he got Alejandro out. So he doesn't figure out what he's up to, He probably convinced Duncan to, Alejandro's a strong player. And then he knew that Mike was up to, and he was able to convince the other team to come look, and they saw Mike doing it. This basically is giving Noah, he's the main villain of the season I wanted. I thought that he could fit really well in this thing, and he's like, yeah. So yeah, Chris explains that today's challenge is a hide-and-seek challenge. 2 campers from previous seasons will be hidden by each team. The other team has to search first team to locate. The other team's camper wins invincibility. The camper being hidden by the vultures is actually Dawn. And then the hamsters have DJ. Heather is happy because Dawn is easier to hide due to her being smaller. After a long time of hiding, DJ gets scared of, let's say, like a spider or something and runs out. Vultures see them and win immunity once again. People aren't, at this point, looking, they don't really know who they're pissed off of. Scott is kind of annoying. Lindsay's dumb. I guess Owen can be kind of irritating, maybe. Cameron's physically not great. Neither is Noah. It's probably between these 5. I think Brick, LaShawn, and Zoe would all be safe. People really like Owen and Lindsay, so they're probably safe. Cameron's really smart, so he can help with brains. And, Noah did help them figure out Mike was evil. That leaves Scott on the outside. He's out. Sorry, buddy. Moving on to Heartache of Episode 10, Heartache of Love. Noah's saying that he thinks Cameron knows what he's up to, but his alliance got outvoted. And that is just something we don't really know. He then goes talks to Owen about trying to get a new person to join their alliance, which reveals that Scott actually was on the alliance. Basically, I want to, this cool thing, but unfortunately, they did get outvoted. I wanted basically Noah to have an alliance because I knew he'd be good. Duncan's yelling at Courtney, right, telling her that he doesn't want her, and C'est la vie. Just because, I felt that they were a good couple, I didn't want to ruin that. Anyways, moving on. This challenge is to pick 4 team members to compete in a relay race. Vultures pick Heather to sit out, probably because she's kind of bossy and annoying, and Joe's more athletic. And then the hamsters have Lindsay and Noah sit out. Lindsay, Noah, and Cam, sit out. Anyways, they do it. So yeah, Courtney and Duncan have to canoe across the lake for the vultures, and Owen and Brick for the hamsters. So, we got a couple of duos right here. I feel like one team obviously would work much better than the other. We all see that, right? Courtney is just kind of yelling at Duncan, whatever. Courtney doesn't want to compete because, she's sad and whatever. She wants to go up Gwen. Brick is very tired having Owen. But it almost makes it around the island with Duncan and Courtney far behind. LaShawna and Zoe begin to build the tower. So yeah, and then, Joe and Gwen are still waiting. Duncan and Courtney are only waiting on the island, and then the hamsters win, and they win immunity. It's pretty obvious who to vote out. People are pretty upset. Courtney lost the challenge. She gets to go, by... Or does she? Dun dun dun. Chris announces that this is actually a twist. They vote off one of their the hamsters have to vote off a player to go join the vultures. They think about it. They know that the most useless player is Lindsay. So she gets sent to the other team. Episode 11, All Stars Go Wild. So yeah, Courtney is on a vendetta to get Gwen out. Heather's joining her like she did in the World Tour, Whatever, I need an alliance. Duncan and Gwen are trying to get Courtney out, Both alliances want Lindsay on their side. Joe says she's out, and, people are kind of scared of her, so whatever. Noah then reveals that Lindsay is actually part of his alliance and is trying to tell him and Owen, basically what's going on. basically Noah kind of picks, some more dumb people. Like, Lindsay's dumb. She wants friends, and then Owen loves Noah. So yeah. Anyways, Chris then explains that today's challenge is to team up Bear. Whichever team does it better wins immunity. During the challenge, Noah takes charge of his team with no clear leader. And I guess they're pretty open to it, right? Why wouldn't they be? And then Duncan and Courtney, as the two basically leaders, would try to take charge and train the bear separately. Hamsters win pretty easily because these guys can't train a bear separately. And people are pissed. Courtney is, like, ha, Gwen, you're dead. But, it's between these two, right? Gwen's like, oh no, Courtney's gonna get me out, but also I want Courtney out. And Courtney's like, oh no, what if people got upset with me? We don't really know who Lindsay votes, but Joe got tired of Courtney's constant whining and voted her out. Peace out. Moving on to the next Aftermath episode 12, Aftermath Not Stars. The interviews. They interview everyone. It's then revealed that Izzy was actually supposed to join the All-Stars cast, but she didn't come. At the end of the episode, a police officer comes and takes Izzy to say that she has to go to the game due to contract reasons. And that leads to episode 13. Izzy. But yeah, actually, that's where we're going to end it today. I wanted to do a 2-part for this, as it's kind of long. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned, because in a few days, we'll get the second part of this. Alright, peace out, guys. Peace.